Out of the podcast. Con, do you know what I realised?
What's that?
We've done that whole pre-season episode, to give everyone like a precursor of what this podcast is going to be about. We didn't even tell them nothing about who we actually were. We told them how we met and that, but like they still don't really know who we are. So I guess just give them a little backstory into that. So obviously, I was a goalkeeper when I joined Winchester. That was in like 2010, I think. Now I'm 33, coming up 34 this year. I've retired from playing football. I used to be a goalkeeper, even though I couldn't kick and I didn't really like come for crosses. And then that kind of changed towards the end of my career. I actually learned how to kick, learned how to come for crosses, but then I couldn't make saves anymore. So it all just went from one extreme to the other. And obviously you were a centre back.
Yeah, I was a centre back, and like funny thing was most centre backs are decent at defending. I was a bit different. I sort of had a different approach to the whole thing. But now I met Raw when I was like 19, I think I was, at Winch. And we had 4 seasons together.
Yeah.
Raw carried on playing. I went to another couple other clubs and then just gave the old thing up.
You went to Steamboat FC.
Yeah. Focused on drinking alcohol, which was a really good choice of mine.
And now you're just trying to get fit ever since.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's fucking brilliant. That sums this podcast up. Can't get anything right. Alarm going off in the middle of the show.
Keep that going.
Yeah. Well, just keep going, mate. Yeah, keep it up.
We'll change the intro as well. The intro music to that.
Yeah. So where were you?
Then like I said, I focused on drinking, and then like Raw said, I've been trying to get fit ever since.
What are you now? 29.
29. Yeah. I think it's a good time to mention it as well because it's not something I like to bring up or anyone else likes to bring up. But my dad was the chairman for 3 of the years I was at Winchester City, and obviously that came with a fair amount of abuse from the fans. So you're going to hear about a lot of that as well. There's some real good things that's happened over the years with that, which is excellent for my mental health. So thanks for that one.
It's going to be a bit of a regular theme, I think, on this podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll eventually get over it, and then we'll just focus on other things. But yeah, for the first season, I think we'll bring it out as often as we can.
It's good for me. Like especially how I feel about myself. My self-esteem's sort of flying at the moment.
And also we need to just do a little disclaimer. Obviously, anyone who listened to that first pre-season episode that we done saw how much of an absolute calamity that was. And I think people need to understand this is our first time ever doing this. We've not got any equipment. We've basically been doing this shit on phones. Our guests have been on the other end of a phone, and it's not been ideal. But hopefully, if you lot can make us really rich and famous, we can buy some we can buy some equipment, and we can actually put on a better show for you. And what you'll notice in this episode, as it was the first one we ever done, we struggled a little bit with the audio, so you will notice a bit of a delay at certain times. It sounds a bit mental. It's like Byron reads our mind and answers our questions before we even get to him. There's a bit of a strange glitch to some of the audio, and it sounds a bit fuzzy sometimes. But like we said, it's a pre-recorded episode. We've done that. We pre-recorded all the episodes, so we listened back to it and we noticed what's wrong, and we've tried to improve as the episodes go on. And we've definitely seen an improvement, so you'll see that as well. And so apologies for that, but if you're still dissatisfied with the service, you can contact our customer service if you like. Email is jimmymyrtle@giveaflyingfuck.com.
I just welcome our first ever guest on Up the Podcast.
is none other than Byron Mason. Byron, thanks for joining us for the first ever episode of our podcast. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thanks for having me on. First one in that. It's my first podcast actually as well. So yeah, I was keen to get involved.
So it's probably going to be a train wreck then.
Yeah.
We're excited to have you on, mate. It's the first, we wanted to get this show on the road. We're delighted to have you on. We consider you a bit of a non-league legend, especially in Hampshire, where you're pretty notorious. So let's get straight into it, shall we? Who's the hardest man in non-league football, you or PJ McLean?
I don't know. We never find out, mate.
Be like The Rock versus Akinfenwa, wouldn't
it? Yeah.
Just a backstory to anyone who don't know these two guys. They've basically completed the gym. They're the biggest guys in non-league that you could imagine. They're lifelong boys. They've been mates for
34 years, mate.
Yeah.
Who benches more?
Oh, Peach, he's a monster, mate. I'm nowhere near him. He's an absolute monster.
I remember we played against Sholing. I never played against PJ. Played against Sholing once, and I got up for a header with Byron, and literally, it's like it just something stopped me. And when I looked up, and Byron's fucking big bicep on top of me. Got to go up for a header against him and that.
I was much bigger back then because obviously I was young, so I could carry the weight. But now I'm getting older. I've had to trim down a little bit.
All right, so you've been at Sholing for 15 years now. In that time, you've made 620 appearances, which is mental. I imagine you've captained over 3/4 of those games. You scored 100 goals on the dot. You've won 9 trophies in your time, including the FA Vase, which is, at our level of football, step 5, which is 4 steps down from what you would call league football, which is the national premier. That's the best achievement that you could pretty much have at that level. So that's really impressive. And obviously, you're the best MC at the club as well, aren't you? The Iceman.
Yeah, that's it. I went for a stage and coming from where I'm coming from, we listened to grime. So I just thought, you know what, let's just get into the music scene and start making tunes for my boys and that, for their car, for their little Novas and that, and their little Honda Civics and that.
Why'd you give it up?
I just went back to football, and I just thought I just concentrate on football a bit more. And obviously, it's a little phase. Everyone goes through a little phase where they like doing something else, but it was never like my main thing to do. To be fair, it was all for football. Was always before that.
Did you go through that phase, Raw?
Who, me?
Yeah,
I had a little phase like that. Yeah, I was a garage. I was the best MC in the galaxy.
You have a nickname?
Yeah, Protalina.
I had the worst nickname ever. It was a 3-week stage. I want to make that clear, but I was a wanker. My name was Freshman C.
Freshman C.
Oh. The only thing about Freshman C, you got to stay fresh at all times, mate. And sometimes it ain't possible.
That's the problem. I was never ever looking that fresh.
Is that one of your lyrics? Man, freshen up for the panani.
Oh, there's a few people around that still know it, and like I walk down the street or whatever, walk down the fucking shops, and I go, "Oh, Freshman C."
So that new make, what's it? Kid Fresh or something like that? Was that based on you? Is it?
Well, yeah,
Kid Fresh Ego or something. No, so it must have been based on you.
Everyone goes through them stages, though.
Everyone goes through that stage, mate. When you're young, you're on the streets, and you just think everyone's doing it. So you just do it. You do it yourself. You know what I mean?
Right. So, yes, we're going from obviously your Iceman days. Do you want to talk to us about obviously your transition from when you were MC into then thinking, do you know what, I'm going to start taking football a bit more serious? How did that path go?
All my boys are playing football and that, and I was just going to parties and just doing stuff that like a young 16, 17-year-old like shouldn't be doing, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? And it was all because of the music. You go with friends and you start getting yourself into mischief. And I just thought, do you know what, let me get back into the football. So I signed for Eastleigh under 16s. And yeah, so because Basil was there, my brother Barry Mason was there at Eastleigh, and he just said, look, come along, see if you like it. So I went to Eastleigh and I liked it. So I played for them for a while. And then with Marv was there as well. He was the reason why I went there. And then he left and went to VT back then. It was Vosper's back then. So he went there first, went to Vosper's from Eastleigh. I stayed there for a while, and then I just fell out of love with it, but I just wanted to be out on the street, to be honest. Yeah. I basically quit football again from after Eastleigh under 16s, going back to the party mode. So after the Eastleigh stage, so after I quit the under 16s for, I reckon, must have been about 2 years or something. So I was about 18 then, and then my brother obviously see me going down the wrong path, and I was like, look, get yourself back into football. Barry got me back on the right path again, and then said, like, come back to football, because football's discipline. As much as people don't like it, if you get a kid that's going down the wrong path, if you get him back into discipline, it helps out massively. And I think I needed that discipline, because I was just out doing whatever I wanted to do and just causing havoc and that. So my brother Barry got me back into Eastleigh into the reserves, and the manager was Danny Acklin at the time, a Scouser, a real good lad. He was like, you know, when I went there, he made me feel welcome straight away. And then so I started playing for Eastleigh reserves and the under 18s, like in that both just trying to enjoy my football, to be honest. But then I realised how serious they take it, because the thing is, I've never really took football that serious, to be honest. I've just played it because my mates played it, and I like playing it. Do you know what I mean? So it's never really been my first thing to do. But yeah, so I went there, and then we played against Vosper's in a Southampton Senior Cup in the semi-finals. We both made it to the semi-finals, and we played against their reserves, and we went down at Vosper's, played them at home. And we were 2-0 down at half time, and we got the absolute hairdryer treatment at half time. Like, he was literally, Danny Acklin was going mental, like foaming at the mouth, going crazy, because obviously we should have been winning the game because we were a much better team, better side than them. So we come out at half time, won 3-2, turned it around, and then so we made it to the final, and then all of a sudden Eastleigh FC get a letter from the FA saying that I got sent off a few weeks before that for my Sunday side. Yeah, and I was on a 30 something day ban because it was a straight red. Because back then they used to do days instead of games, and so Eastleigh got kicked out of the cup. Yeah, Eastleigh got kicked out of the competition, and in the final they was meant to play. I can't remember if they were supposed to play in the final, but yeah, they got kicked out. Now, obviously, they wasn't happy at all one bit. Obviously, Mick Marsh was manager of Sholing reserves at the time, and then so I had to have a meeting at Eastleigh with all the top boys in the boardroom, and have a meeting, and I had to write a letter to say that I didn't know that Sunday football was like counted for Saturday football, the send it off. So and then so I've written the letter and anything. I've done what they said, because I thought I fell out of order, because it wasn't. I should have told him really that I got sent off, but I didn't tell him because I didn't want to tell him that I was playing Sundays. And and then the FA come back and they said no, the decision is the decision, and they've been kicked out. So they sent me a letter. They called me and they basically said that they're dropping me from the team, and I'm not allowed to play for them no more.
Sent off in one league or one competition, which is on a Sunday, and it ends up stitching.
Yeah, exactly. I just thought it was two different. I just thought 2 different days. I don't know what I thought. I should have said something to him, to be honest with you, and they could have said, look, well, you're obviously you're not going to be able to play this match. But I just didn't want to tell them. I just thought, now I want to play because it's semi-final and stuff. And but obviously it's come back to bite everyone. You know what I mean? So that was the end of my journey at Eastleigh Football Club.
But I'm getting the final, boys. But you're not playing in it now.
Exactly. And so then after that, I quit again. I thought, you know what? I'm done with football. I'm done with it. I've quit. This is my third time of saying I ain't playing no more. I quit again, and then everyone went over to, obviously, everyone went over to VTFC. Like, Marv was already there, and then Bazza went there, and then Peach went there, and then all my mates went there. And then about a year later, they said to me, look, come to the reserves. Obviously, we had Matty McKenzie, who I knew. We had like loads of the boys, like Luke Hilliard, that I knew there. Mm-hmm. And they said, look, it's a good crack. It's nothing like Eastleigh. It's not as intense. Do you know what I mean? It's more chilled out. Yeah. So I thought, you know what? I went back there, and then ended up playing 2 seasons in the reserves. And when I went there, Mick Marsh was like, Barry introduced me, said, "Oh, it's my brother Byron," and Baz said, "Yeah, he's the one who got you lot to the final," and that was it. But Mick Marsh said, "You know what? You're my best friend. Come straight in, mate. I'm starting you." That was it, mate. So I've got Eastleigh kicked out, and then ended up signing him for the team that made it through to the final anyway. So
that's a great story. I love that. It's literally like so obviously you touched on a few names there: Marv, PJ, Baz. Baz, your brother, Marv and PJ are brothers. Yeah. Marv McLean, Pete. You know, you guys have all grown up together, all around each other, your whole lives. To then all go to Sholing and all be part of the same team. That's something quite special. Yeah.
Like I say, like between us 4 there, the names you just named, me, Marv McLean, PJ McLean, and obviously my older brother Barry. We've literally been friends since, because our dads are best friends, so we have just literally been friends since we were basically born. Yeah. There's photos of us together of like Peach just about standing up and I'm in his dad's arms. That's how long we've known each other for. So so when we all found a decent club that obviously not too far, because you know what Marv's like with travelling. You don't like to travel too far, so it was a good job, like showing them weren't too far from us. Well, VT back then, but yeah, it was a good club. So I went there and I just enjoyed it. To be honest, it wasn't too much stress. It wasn't like you had to be good to play, but it wasn't a pressure. Do you know what I mean? With Eastleigh, obviously, I understand why they had so much pressure on the young ones, because of the standard they were looking to go to. You know, they're looking to get into Football League, which is obviously amazing. But I'm not saying Sholing didn't have like aspirations to go up. They just wasn't in the same place. They never had the grounds to go up anyway. So they were just steps behind, which I just thought is more relaxed for the stage that I was at. You know, I wasn't amazing. I just had good energy and just run around. You know, I never had the quality to take it to the next step, if you know what I mean, at that stage.
I'd probably say I don't think I've ever seen you play below an 8. You know, an 8 out of 10. That's probably where your standard is at. So, you know, like you're saying, you know, you don't think that you've got this and that, but you've got enough to play an 8 every week, which is important, and every team needs that. So,
yeah, of course. Yeah. Once I realised, once I went to Sholing first team, and I realised that there's actually ballers in there. Like we had some of the best ballers. Like we had Ryan Ashford, we had Tyrone Bowers, we had Liam Green, we had Dean Blake, we had Kevin Brewster. Like we literally had Kevin Gibbons, obviously my brother Barry. We had so many good players there. And when I went up there and I see them do a keep ball session, I just realised that I ain't going to get to the level that they're at, because you got to be taught that from young. I've never been coached at all ever in my life. And the only thing that separated me from them that was different is that I worked 10 times harder. You know, I had the lungs. Yeah. I could get up and down the pitch, box to box. I don't really do anything pretty, and I give 100%, and I win all my battles. And that was the thing that was obviously missing, and that's the reason why I got called up from reserves to first team, because I had something that they lacked. If you know what I'm saying, they keep the ball well, 1,000 passes, good, looks good, but then they would always like concede late, or they would draw the game or something, you know, and they just needed that dog in midfield. And obviously, and it was perfect for me.
I think that's important as well for any team, if you think about it, doesn't it? Like, it's good having loads of ballers, but you need someone in there who's going to pull the whole thing together.
Especially probably if you look back them days in the last 10, 15 years. A lot of them players and a lot of them lads that you just mentioned there, they played a lot higher, didn't they? They played probably step 1, step 2, just outside of the professional game. Gibbons has actually played Premier League football.
Yeah,
Ashford, he played professional football.
Yeah.
We're talking about lads who, like you said, they've done it from early in their lives. They've been taught the best way, the right way.
They've all had good coaching.
And then you just come in and it's like, well, I'll pick up football as a teenager, and then be sort of thrown in with the likes of these players. You got to show something different. And because these lads have come from a higher standard, they're probably going to think, you know what, I'm so much better than this level. I don't really need to try that harder. I don't need to work as hard as the other players I'm playing against or playing with. I've got the quality to score goals, to create goals, and to, you know, keep the ball and all those kind of things. And then that's how something like that will fall on you, wouldn't it? You end up being the dog for these.
And that's perfect. That's exactly what it was. Like they were all coming to not to the end. No, just not to the end of their tether, but they've all played higher. Like you say, they've all, like even Tyser, he was Eastleigh and Salisbury. You know, you had Lee Bright, who was Eastleigh. You had all these players that's played higher. And no disrespect, but Sholing was an easy standard for them. You know, so they just walked out there. Yeah. I'm not saying they wasn't bothered, but they knew that they could play 50% and get through a game. Not a problem, if you know what I'm saying. But the likes of me and a few others had to work very hard. Like when I first went to Wessex, I couldn't believe how fast it was. You know, coming from reserve football, but to them, it was probably so slow and easy. You know what I mean? So I think it was only because someone got injured for 8 games. I can't remember, it was one of the midfielders got injured, and then I got my first game, and I obviously run so much and just done everything for the team, and we won. And then Dykes just said, I'm going to put you in again, and he put me in again and again, and then I had 8 games on a bounce, luckily, because someone got injured. And then from then, that's it. I've been in the first team ever since then.
Yeah, so to go and win the FA Vase is an achievement in itself. It's something that everyone at our level, because we'll aspire to be pros. Obviously, everyone wants to be a pro, but then you find your level, you fall at your level, or not even your level, but you end up being where you're comfortable. But for our level, where we've been at most of our career, that is like the World Cup for us. You win in the FA Vase is like winning the World Cup for our level.
It was huge for us. Like,
right, so leading on from that, it's probably a good time to speak about that prestigious FA Vase run that you guys had.
Prestigious, anyway.
Prestigious.
That's a big
word. I need to pretend that I'm really intelligent.
Eloquent.
Yeah. So now's probably a good time to talk about the FA Vase run that you guys had. Do you want to let us know sort of how that season went, how it started, how you guys are feeling about it, and just go from there. Really.
First of all, I just want to say, obviously, a club made a decision in 2012-13 to drop out of the Southern League because of obviously financial issues, and the club wasn't at where it's supposed to be in that league. Obviously, we don't know the ins and outs, but it's obviously expensive with coaches and all stuff like that to be in that league. So, so when Dipes called us in and had a meeting, like, I wasn't too happy about it because I like the Southern League. It more suited me as a player because I'm much more physical, big, strong, and it's more direct. Yeah. So I wasn't really happy because I just thought I've done a few seasons of Wessex, and I'm not saying obviously we've won it. I'm not saying like we completed it or anything, but you wasn't getting up for games as much. There's only like maybe 2 or 3 games you'd get up for. The likes of obviously Tottenham were in there, and when Gosport were in there and stuff, but they all got promoted anyway, so they wasn't in there no more. So I wasn't happy about it. But in the end, we all took a decision and just said, look, we'll all stay together. We drop down and then we'll win it. And then Dyke said we might be in a better position to go back up in a year's time. So we dropped down. And started playing in the Wessex League. Obviously, the run we went on was crazy. Just winning. Like, we were just battering teams. Beating the league up, as was expected. Like we never thought we wasn't going to win it because we still had like Tyser, the Dipes, obviously me, Marvin, Barry, Brighty, who's obviously one of the best defenders around. You know, Pete Castle, who's obviously done the circuit, who's Reading's youngest player and stuff. So we had a real good team. Lee Wart scoring hundreds of goals. So we had everything it needed to be, but we never really thought about the Vase. We just thought we have a good run in it and see how it goes. So luckily we got the league sewn up quite quick, because in the later stages of the Vase, we could rest players and save them for the Vase and stuff like that, which makes it 10 times easier, because when you're going for a league and a Vase at the same time, obviously you've got to prioritise one. If you've got a big game on a Saturday and then if you've got a big game on a Saturday and then you've got a game on a Tuesday, then you've got Vase next Saturday, you've got players can't play 3 tough games like that, if you know what I'm saying. So but of course, on the run to the Vase, obviously I've never given away a penalty, and I don't think I've ever given away a penalty in my life. And then I gave away 3 penalties in the Vase run. Yeah, 3 penalties in 8 games I gave away, and I never ever give away penalties. A lot of the games we was getting outrun. We literally would just get outrun throughout the whole game. It's just lucky that, we work hard and we made it work. I got a bigger thrill and a bigger buzz from the semi-final than I did the final, because I've made it to Wembley now. So the achievement's done to always play at Wembley. I've made it there. No matter what happens, I'm going to cross that line and I'm going to play at Wembley. Do you know what I mean? And then afterwards, it's only when you get to Wembley you start thinking, can we win it? But the whole time up to it, it wasn't even the case of can we win it, because we was playing West Auckland, who were unbelievable. They were like smashing their league. They went there the year before. They got there the year before and lost the year before. So we're thinking they've been there. They're coming for revenge. And I had to go on a media day the week before and got there and go speak to the media. So we had to go and do a media day.
Sky,
and their gaffer and their captain was just so sure and so confident that they were going to win. They were saying that we're going to get starstruck. Well, not starstruck. What's the word you call it? When you, do you know what I mean? Like, we're going to be, we're not going to be taking the surroundings. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're playing at Wembley. That's what happened to them first time they got there.
Yeah,
they were like mesmerised that they're actually playing at Wembley, and then basically played a shit game. And they said that they're over that now. They've played at Wembley before, so the second leg that's going to happen to us. And they're going to cruise through it. They were so sure of themselves. They booked hotels in London and that to obviously party afterwards. And then obviously when they lost, they jumped straight on the coach and didn't even go to the hotel. Went straight back to Newcastle. Yeah, in a bit.
Later, boys.
Yeah, that's it. I was ready to come to Southampton, mate, and go wild for 3 days after.
And I remember just everyone just being battered, and to watch it, it was just like it literally was surreal. It was surreal to watch it, and like you say, it must have felt like that for you lot. Actually being out there and playing, a pretty average standard of football,
it was unbelievable. Like, the thing about Wembley that I love the most is that we've all been to like Southampton Senior Cup finals, and we've been to Hampshire Senior Cup finals over the same stadium. And when you go there, it's literally it feels like they don't want you there. You're just there because it's the cup that gets played there, if you know what I'm saying. So when you get there, you're not allowed no extra players. You're not allowed out on the pitch until they say, till a certain time. You're not allowed after the game. You've got to leave straight away. You're not allowed to have no food or nothing there. And it just feels like it's just rushed. You know, they just want you in there. They want you out. You know, you're an inconvenience to their football ground anyway, playing there. But Wembley, they treat you like you're a pro. So when you go there, you're allowed. Obviously, we had TJ in our team, Terry Cuthbertson. We had him in our team. We had Baldacchino in our team, and they were cup tied because they played for Blackfield Langley in the cup against Larcool as well, who we beat on. So they were cup tied. They signed for us after. They were allowed on the pitch. They were allowed to warm up with us. They were allowed to do anything. There was people there like I don't. It just felt like you was a pro for the day. They made it feel like that. We was allowed afterwards. We was allowed in the players' bar to drink, eat, and all stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So that's what stood out for me. They wasn't trying to usher us out because we're a small team that shouldn't be playing there. It's just because they sponsor the cup or whatever. You know, it was. You know, you've got to the final. Enjoy your day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's even there's like a little documentary on YouTube in there for anyone who would like to sort of take in what we're talking about. There's actually a little documentary on YouTube if you just type in FA Vase final Sholing. I think it's called Band of Brothers. FA Vase winners 2014. It's basically the documentary about you lot, and you can see you lot all in the changing room, all just having a laugh, dancing about, going on the pitch and stuff like that. So you can see that, you know, they're literally welcoming you and just treating you like, you know, like you deserve to be there, not just rush them in and rush them out like the
exactly, mate. And it just makes you feel good, you know. It makes you feel like for one day you're a pro, and you're, you know, it's everyone's dream to play there, and they make you feel like it. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I mean, like you said all the way through the competition, you lot were grinding out results. You were getting your nil, getting your clean sheets, and again, it was exactly the same. Again, a bit of a smash and grab. Marv went down. Marv McLean went down the wing, come in.
In slow motion, by the way. That was the most slowest motion ball I've ever seen in my whole. I felt like I stood there for 10 seconds waiting for that ball to hit the net.
Listen, I always want to ask you this: when you all celebrate, the whole team does the same celebration?
Nah, that wasn't even planned. I just see Marv, because if you see, there's a picture of Marvin, Barry, and Lee all sliding together, and then obviously all of us just come late, and obviously whoever does the first one, everyone just slides and does it. But I'll tell you a story about that. It's funny because I obviously, you know, Pete Castle, he's got obviously massive legs. He's like a real thick set and all that. And a week before, well, I reckon about 4 days before Wembley, he was going gym, and he's like, "Oh, we need to do a bit." Because don't forget, there was a big break before the season finishing and Wembley.
Yeah,
2-week break, longer than that, without playing no games. And when I went up there for the media day, the man that was doing the pitch day, he goes, "Oh, are you playing here?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, I hope you're fit." And I said, "Oh, why is that?" And he said, "Because this pitch zaps it out of you. Yeah, because of how it is or what's underneath or whatever, it zaps out of you. So you better be fit." So I come back and I was like to them boys, I told him what mate told me. So Pete was like, "Oh, do you want to go do a circuit?" So I was like, yeah, kind of, let's go do a circuit. So he's done a leg circuit. And obviously I am no good at doing legs. No good whatsoever. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it anyway. So we've done this circuit, and I swear, I kid you not, have you ever had that feeling when you first do legs and you can't even walk? You can't get out of bed, you can't walk or nothing. So that was me 4 days before the final. So on the way to Wembley, our physio was obviously there, and she was like, "Yeah, do you know what? I'll do private massages for you if you want," because obviously she's not working, she's there to enjoy herself. So we all paid her to do private, and she had to give me a massage for like 2 hours before, the night before. I had to go in the sauna, jacuzzi, I had to stretch, I had to ice. And even before the game, I was there stretching on the floor, and I still had that feeling of I've just done legs. So when Marvy scored that goal in the 79th or whatever it was, and everyone slid, I've come running over and I've done a slide, and both of my calves have cramped up. Both of them just locked. So I've got up and I was thinking, I can't even carry on. And I'm there and I'm stretching while everyone's celebrating. I'm there trying to stretch my calves. So I'm thinking, I can't go back out there like this. You know when both your toes point and you can't. Yeah, they stiffen up, and it was funny because I was trying to celebrate, but at the same time, I've just cramped up both calves, and I was like, I'm done. But I managed to have a good stretch and pull through.
What was the night out like afterwards?
Oh, Jesus! So we didn't even plan anything for the night out because we didn't even. I don't even think it was in our heads that we was going to win it. To be honest, I don't think anyone stood there and thought like like how West Auckland, they've obviously booked London and they've booked places in London and stuff like that. They obviously
you should have took that off their hands.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we should. But I just thought.
Gone and spoke to the skipper that was telling you you're going to be starstruck.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
we'll chuck you some money for that.
You boys are going home now. Should we take all the stuff that you had planned?
But yeah,
maybe next year.
But we all made the decision. We said, should we stay up in London because we could have done it. Like, so we could do whatever you want. We've got the coach. We've hired the coach for 3 days, so he will take us anywhere we want. So we made the decision after the game to go back to Southampton just because we were just so struck by how many fans come up and watch the game. Like we was not expecting that because obviously when we play at home, we don't get many fans.
Madness. Yeah. So you boys, you started straight away, and then you say you decided to come back to Southampton then to celebrate.
Because we just thought we owed it to our fans. A load of the fans were saying like where they've obviously caught coaches up and paid money to come up, and they're saying like where are we going to end up? And lucky it was Chambers in Southampton. Neville owned it, the Chambers bar, and he just said, look, like we can put on a whole. Obviously, for the players and that, free bottles and all stuff like that, if you all come back here. So we phoned him and said, look, we're on our way back. Is the deal still on? He said, yeah, no worries, mate. So we all ended up in the Chambers. And it was when all the fans got there before us, because obviously we stayed behind and had drinks and at Wembley, had food and that. So all the fans were there first. And then when we got off the coach, because the coach dropped us there, when we got off the coach, everyone was just going mad. It seemed like we just won the Premiership or something. It was mental, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
It was an unbelievable feeling. And
that definitely ain't going to happen in Southampton. So this is the closest thing to it.
Yeah. But it was good. So when we got up there, there was fans trying to bar us drinks up. Obviously, we had a whole section full of like free bottles and everything like that, so we didn't need anything. But yeah, it just went from 0 to 1,000 like real quick.
When did you stop partying?
So that was on this
about a week later.
Yeah,
pre-season. I generally think it's about 3 or 4
days. It was,
later,
I think it was like a 3 or 4. Yeah, about 3 days. I think 3 solid day and nights. I think it was. People were just putting on stuff for us. Like the next day, we had to go walk around the Saints Stadium when they were playing Man United to like just get like a round of applause and that. So we walked around the stadium.
That's probably the last thing you wanted to do as well.
Honestly, we woke up. We obviously Dobbs agreed to it because he said, yeah, it'd be a good thing for us. We all woke up. We all got in like stupid o'clock. Realised that we had to meet over the Saints Stadium like early because it was an early kickoff. We had to go walk around the stadium. We was like hammered. All of us were hammered. Got straight back on the drink. It was. Can't really remember it to be honest, but yeah.
For most people, they'd be like they couldn't wait to do that, could they? St Mary's Stadium, get to wander around.
We wasn't,
mate. I've just played at Wembley. Why don't I wander around St Mary's with a cup?
We was like, let's get us to the bar. But yeah, on the Saturday, or the Sunday, whatever it was after, we had loads of people phone us up, like people that own clubs and that were saying like, if you bring all the fans or you come to our club, we'll put this on for you and that. So we had like 3 or 4 different options at different times of the day. So we went to one first. One of our fans owned a pub in Beavers Valley. He had loads of brandy out there for us. We went there first. We've always met the fans there and that. And then we ended up in 90s, and they said they give us loads of stuff and that. And honestly, it was just mental. It was just free booze for like the whole weekend.
I was actually DJing that night. I had a set in Junk, which was one of the fairly popular nightclubs in Southampton. And I think that's where you boys all ended up. We all ended up in Junk together.
Yeah.
And it was such a messy one for me, let alone for you boys, that I don't actually remember doing the set. I don't remember any. I had to the next day because I DJ on Serato, which means you can sort of look at the history of what you've played. I remember going back on the history the next day, looking at the set and just being like, I do not remember playing any of these.
Yeah,
it was mad stuff like Spice Girls going into like garage and then garage going into some 50 Cent, and it was like there's no way I could have been mixing this. People must have been going play that, and I'm just going yeah whatever. And but that's how I remember it. Well, not remember it, but that's what that night was like for me. So for you boys, it must have.
It was just literally like it was just like you finally got there, you've done it, and now it's just time to enjoy it. And that's what it felt like. And it was just, it was amazing, mate.
Right, so we've touched on all the serious stuff in your career. So let's get into the important part. Let's talk about the banter.
So, can you think of any crazy stories throughout your career, or any funny stories?
There's been loads of them, but the one
tough to whittle it down.
Yeah, but the ones that stand out, like there's a couple that stand out for me. They're not really not mad crazy, but they're quite funny. Obviously, everyone knows Mike Carter. He's a funny lad. Like he's got good banter. And we were playing Frome away in a league or a cup or something, and we had Craig Stanley playing for us. And do you know Craig Stanley?
Yeah,
We had him playing for us, and I think he got himself into a bit of mischief or whatever. You know, his mum was worried. He's telling us a few stories about he got himself into a bit of trouble, and his mum was worried about him at this stage on the coach on the way up there. So we get there now, and everyone goes out, and it's just me and Cartsy that left in the change room. So Craig Stanley's left his phone there. So Cartsy's gone on his phone. Cartsy's gone on his phone, and he's texted his mum and said, "Mum, I'm in trouble. Like, phone me now. Yeah, I need help. I'm in trouble. Like, this is serious. I need your help." And then put his phone back in his pocket. So we've come back in. Obviously, everyone knows the rule. You're not allowed to touch your phone after 6:30. Obviously, it's fine. We've come back in. We've got changed. We've gone out, played the game. I think we drew 3-3 or something. We drew the game, whatever. We come back in. Next thing we're all sat there, and Dad is on his phone, and all of a sudden he's just got up and gone, "Who done that?" And we're like, and everyone's like, "We talk about, mate." He's like, and he's obviously swearing. He's like, "Who the fuck done that?" No, this ain't a joke. This ain't a joke. He's nearly crying, that going mental. Like his mum's given him like about 100 missed calls and sent him about 20 messages saying, "I'm worried about him." He's got people phoning him. She's phoned the police because the last thing she said, he's in trouble. And then 90 minutes later, he still hasn't got back to her. And mate, the whole changing room just was crying on the coach back, mate. He was fuming. Like he honestly, he wanted to kill someone, but he's only little Winnie, so it's not really there's not really much he could have done. But yeah, I just thought, imagine that you text your mum, and your mum's obviously like proper worried about you because you get yourself into mischief anyway. And she knew, I think he had a few lads after him or something like that. He was telling us, but yeah, that was one of the ones that stood out because
So it's believable as well. Not only
that's
funny,
what I mean. It's believable.
It's
Like his mum is literally like must have been worried sick about him.
Panic stations.
Literally, but
that's Cartsy to a T, isn't it? Though Cartsy, that's just
he's so funny. He's funny, but to be fair though, when Stanley said who done that though, I didn't see Cartsy say me. He was like he was quiet as hell.
He suddenly needed the toilet. He wasn't even in the room. Where's Cartsy gone? Oh, I think he's already drove on.
Sat on the coach in his football kit and his boots still on, mate. Oh no, yeah, that was funny. And another one. We had a player called Adam Campbell play for us, and anyone that knows Adam Campbell, aka Parky from Portsmouth, just knows that he is probably one of the craziest men you're ever going to meet. His banter don't stop. I think he banters when he's.
There's no limits to it.
Yeah, there's no limit to his banter whatsoever. Like it could be, you either love him or you hate him, but you got to know how to take. You got to know how to take him. You know he's only joking. He comes from a good place, but his banter is just. Yeah, he's just one of the best out there. He just non-stop. And he had a friend, Warren Hunt played for us. Scored loads of goals, been on like Pompey's books and stuff like that. He come and signed for us. And we played away somewhere and we won the game. We're getting the beers in. I can't remember what it was. I think it was Wazza. Went to the toilet and goes, I'm going to the toilet, back in a minute. And he goes to Addy, watch my beer. And he's walked off, gone to the toilet. And then obviously Addy being Addy, he's like, yeah, I'll watch your beer. Obviously pulled his balls out, dunked him in his beer. I pulled his balls out, dunked him in his beer, held him in there, got someone to take a photo of it, and then obviously he's come back. He's like, "Oh yeah, your beer's there." He's like, "Oh yeah, nice one, mate." Drinking his beer. No one, like everyone's trying not to laugh. He's drinking his beer. He's finished it. As he sent Wazza the picture and goes, "Yeah, Wazza, have a look at your phone." He's looked at his phone and seen his balls in his beer. He's like, he's obviously stood there with an empty glass. He's like, "That ain't my beer, is it?" he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yes, mate, that is your beer."
Give him his own version of
trust me, a proper Foster top, mate. But yeah, he's just got no limit to what he does. Like he's mental.
Yeah. I got a funny story about Warren Hunt actually. When I don't know who he was playing for. Who did we used to play against him? Is it Moneyfields?
Moneyfields,
Moneyfields.
It was that season where Winch was shit, but we were still in the top 3. Remember that the season just before all the money came in, basically. And my dad was trying to get him for fucking ages, like, and he always wanted shitloads of money. And I can't remember who we had up top. I think we had Zach Glassball up top, and it was on a corner, and Zach was giving him shit or whatever. And Warren Hunt just turned around and went, "Mate, you carry on. I'm going to come to the club and fucking take your spot." Like that. And then the whole game, he was just doing it to him. Every time Zach went near him, he was going, he goes, "You'll be on the bench next week." Fucking hilarious. Go on, another story.
Yeah, and the other story I remember, we was all in Magaluf for end of season do, and the whole team went. I was only young then. I was just got into the first team. I was only in there for half a season, but I thought, I'm going to go away with them because I wasn't growing up, I wasn't really, when them boys were doing all the bantering and like pissing each other on the showers and all shit like that, I was never involved in that because obviously I come from St Mary's, from like the streets. And I was like, we don't do that, if you know what I mean. So I had to get used to it pretty quick.
Showering
I
in
had
your
to get used to
boxes.
it pretty quick. Do you know what I'm saying? That they are nasty guys and they're only bantering, you know. But as I just said to him, as long as none of it happens to me, as long I'm all right. And yeah, so we went to Magaluf. And I thought I'm gonna go, you know, see what it's about. Go with the boys, have a drink up and that. Anyway, we was there, and you know them, you know, you got a punching machine, but obviously you got a kicking version, didn't you? Yeah, where you run up to it and see how hard you can kick. So so we're doing that, and we're all steaming drunk, and we're all doing that to see who got the most powerful kick. Obviously, I've kicked it, completely miskicked it, foot's ballooned up like an absolute balloon. Like it must have been broke. It had to have been. I've never seen a foot so big. And then Brighty, it was there, and he was steaming drunk as well. And Dykes just stood near him. So Brighty's run up to it, gone to kick it, missed it, slipped, and kicked Big Dykes, our gaffer, straight in the head. kicked him clean in his head. No joke. I don't know how he's done it. He's obviously slipped. He's obviously wobbled. He's stood there. And he's there. And he's like, fucking hell, Bright. And he's like, everyone's cracked up laughing, like crying with laughter. And obviously, just seeing Dykes like trying to get his bearings back because obviously he's just been fucking walloped clean in the head. But yeah, honestly, everyone's and then just that holiday alone, being out there with them lot, it's just different breeds. Obviously, if you ask them lot about stories, they got all sorts of stories to tell. You know what I mean? Like,
I think we're gonna have to get some of them boys on the show.
Especially
as well.
Ryan Ashford, he's got stories for days. He's just too funny.
We'll probably have to censor after.
He's the nastiest one. He's the one who go into the toilet if there's no toilet roll. He just wipe his ass with his hand, and then come in and wave it in people's faces. He's just different. He's just different kettle as well. But so that's the three that stand out to me. Just the ones that had me dying for ages that I will never forget. But you had to be there. Just one of those ones.
Right, next one. Funniest backstory to signing a player.
Yeah, so the funniest backstory is, I don't know if anyone knows, but Sholing Football Club are open to anyone that wants to come and play football for them. Like Charlie special. And Dykes, fair play to Dykes. He's a nice man. He give anyone a chance. So he's like, we got this player come in. You know, he's played for is into. I can't remember where he's from. I can't remember where he's from exactly, but he's played under 21s for his country and stuff like that. And we're like, all right. We're like, yeah, well, another one of them Dykes anyway. So turn up, one of the ones with like wearing his shin pads over his socks and stuff like that. He comes to the change room.
Why would someone do that? Like, what, you're going to get an extra layer from his sock?
I don't know.
Shin pad or
Bad player starter pack.
Honestly, mate,
So
I don't know why, mate. But yeah, we've had quite a few of them. Yeah, like loads of them turn up, say they've played here, there, and everywhere. You know, you check. Dykes always does a little background check of them, and like they come with the kits. You know, they come with like a kit on, like for like an Ebbsfleet kit or something like that. They come with a kit, and like you realise that they've probably just been to a training session and got given their kit and then got bombed off.
Just went to the kit shop.
Got popped off. But this player, he come on, and like we brought him on for 20 minutes, and then literally there's only like half hour left to go, and he got brought back off with 10 minutes to go. Like that was it. 20-minute cameo, mate. Don't want to see him ever again. That was it. You know, you just know that, and we're just like, Dykes, why do you keep saying? He goes, mate, you know, I get good reviews from them because they get people phoning them, telling them how good they are. It must be their mates. He must be like, look,
it's a mate on the phone as
like
an agent
on the phone, like, yeah, he's played there, good player.
Absolute Ali Dia.
Like an Ali Dia.
Yeah.
Dad was terrible for it. Like, he had all these fucking weird people from up north, scouts and that, where they said they were scouts. And his name was it Tundi? I think it was Tundi, wasn't it?
Tundi, yeah.
So Dad had paid for this bloke's flights over to the UK. Honestly, no, that's the genuine thing. I think he was living in America or something. And it was around the time Henri was in America. So this bloke knew the backstory of what he was going to give my dad to get signed. So anyway, my dad's saying, yeah, he's this, he's that. And I went, well, who's he playing for? He goes, we're not sure, but he's got Henri's football boots. And that was the genuine reason why we signed him. Because he had Henri's football boots.
And what make were they? They were like flipping
concave.
Yeah.
Timberland.
And I remember Butts even fucking questioning it. I remember he came on and he didn't speak great English either. And the only thing I remember about him, the ball's come up to him, it's come up to his chest. And instead of chesting it, it's perfect height. He's ducked down and he's took it down with his lips and kissed the ball as it's gone down. I swear to you, literally just went and put it on the floor. and that was the end of him. We had loads back in the
Yeah,
day.
we've had
Loads
so
of them,
many.
wasn't it?
Honestly, they must just come from nowhere.
They
We've
knew.
had people from like the Grosvenor come and train for us because Dykes goes down to Grosvenor.
Hey, mate, I can play football.
He spins a good roulette wheel, mate. Get him down. Oh, mate. Yeah, it's funny though.
He's really good with balls. The ones that are tiny and your arm on a floor on a. So who would you say is the best player you played
There's a
against?
player called, his name's Daryl McMohan. He's the manager now of Dagenham and Redbridge, but he's done the circuit.
Mm-hmm.
He was obviously played for West Ham, coming up through youth. He's played Torquay, Leighton O, Notts Co, Stevenage, Port Vale. He's literally done this. So but I never knew him at this stage. I've only obviously done the research like later on because I thought, who's this? Why is this player so good? Do you know what I mean? But when he's playing against Farnborough,
Yeah.
I think he was like this in the quarter final of this Hampshire Senior Cup. That's when Farnborough were real decent, and we was playing and we beat him in the end. But the last half hour, this player come on, and obviously Ashnat knew who he was because obviously they've done the circuit and so they knew who he was. He's coming to midfield, Irish lad, and I kid you not, he's just come back from a long injury, so he didn't play for like 6-7 months. Just come back, his first game, they give him a half hour, and I kid you not, I could not get anywhere near him. He was that good, he was so good. I just thought, what can I do to stop him? I couldn't get near him to try and weights him. I couldn't get, he was just unbelievable. And I come off the pitch and I was like, nah, who was that player? And then obviously the boys said who he was. And I've never heard of him before. And then I had to search him up and I was like, yeah, he was by far the best player I've ever played against. And he only played against me for half hour and he was unfit. So I just thought, imagine if he played for 90 minutes fit. I reckon I'd have pulled an injury. I'd have done an injury or something. I'd have faked one. I'd have subbed myself
2-minute calf injury. Is there any players that you've played with, thinking mainly at step 5 level, playing for Sholing, who you think could have made a step up? I know a lot of lads made the step down, so we won't really go into those lads. But is there anyone that you've played with at the level where we've been at, who you think could have made the step up and could have been a pro?
Yeah, I'd have to say Marvin McLean, definitely, because I played with him throughout our whole career, and at every level we played together. And obviously we find him. He left Eastleigh, and I went back and went to Sholing by VT. I left and went there to meet him, and then we've just been back together ever since. So we only had a little time apart, but just watching him when he was younger, he's always been the most. He's always been he's not really been the most skillful, but he can dump a man in 2 seconds. Obviously, everyone's seen what he does to fullbacks and that. And he's just not bothered at all. He's about football. So I reckon if he had that bothered head on him and really wanted to push himself from young and probably had the right coaching and stuff like that, given a chance, I reckon he definitely would have stayed at the top level as far as, maybe league football. Do you know what I mean?
He's one of them that you almost, a lot of the time, you know what he's going to do, but you can't stop it.
Yeah, he does that little step over that he does.
Yeah.
And even though it's coming, there's nothing you can do about it. And his shift over 15, 20 yards with the ball is just you can't defend it. It's ridiculous. And he obviously gets himself into good positions in that, but he works so hard as well. It's not even like he's one, because you see a lot of wingers who's good going forward and no good getting back. But he can do both. So I mean, he's not afraid to roll his sleeves up and do the defending side either.
Yeah. So leading on from that, I wanted to address a couple of rumours that have been going around about potentially you making a step up into the pro game. I think it was around the time when Saints were struggling. They'd come down out of the Prem and they dropped down into League One. And I think they were looking to bring non-league players up, and they were trying to bring up some non-league players, looking around, scouting around the lower league, see if they could find a bargain because they want much money at the club. I think it was Jan Porvliet at the time was a manager. Is that something you've heard about? You might not have even heard about it, but there was a rumour that we heard that even Saints were potentially looking at you.
Yeah. Actually, this is a funny story, actually, because even till now, I still think someone was obviously bantering. But when that Jan Portvillet was in charge, I got a few mates that worked for Saints, over the Saints Foundation. Obviously, they know, like, obviously how, like, they love the way I play, because obviously I was box to box, I was strong, powerful midfielder, and they always used to say to me, like, oh, you can go far. But I was always like, yeah, no, I'm happy where I am. I'm just going to chill. And they was like, oh, we can try and get you trials. I was like, look, you can do what you do what you need to do your end. I'm just going to keep playing my football. So they kept on saying it to me, and in the end, they phoned me and said, look, I've got hold of the manager, and he said he's going to give you a call. And I was like, yeah, all right then, and all that. And then anyway, I didn't know who was managing then, because I didn't really follow Saints. So I was at the gym with PJ, and my phone rang, and I've answered it, and I just heard, hello, this is Byron. And I was thinking, who's that? I said, yeah, who's that? And he's like, oh, it's Jan Portvillet. And I was like, I put the phone, and I was like, Jan Portvillet, like that. And then PJ stopped and gone, that's the Saints manager. And I was like, never. And I was like, hello. And he's like, oh, you right? He said, yeah, I've been hearing your name recently, like people telling me to come have a look at you, so I'm interested. So I want to come and see you play. And I was like, oh, all right, yeah. He goes, when's best for you then? Because to come watch one of your games. When are you home next? And we had Basingstoke in the Hampshire Cup at home. I think it was like the coming weeks. So instead of coming to watch I'm not sure if he was in the, I think we was in this, just gone into the Southern League, or we was just going into the Southern League. So instead of coming to watch a Southern League game where it's just smash the ball long and that's it, I thought let me get him to come to a good game. And I knew Basingstoke were a few leagues above, and it was obviously I think it was a semi-final or something. And I knew that we always play well against higher oppositions. Do you know what I mean? We don't just smash the ball long. We try and get the ball down and play and that, you know. So I thought, always raise it. So I thought, yeah. So I was like, yeah, all right, come to that. He said, yeah. Anyway, so even when I got off the phone, I was in the He's like, that's amazing. Like, that's massive. Like, it's up to you now. And I was like, look, I still don't think it's him. I just think someone's got me on a proper wind up here.
Someone putting on a good Dutch accent.
Yeah, put on a good Dutch accent. Yeah, and I was like, wow, let's see what it is anyway. So I told all Marvin and Baz on that, and they was like, oh, that's amazing. Like, proper play your heart. I said, yeah, I will. And then I don't know how long it was before the game, but then I see it that he got sacked by Saints, or he left, or he got sacked, or something like that before I played Basingstoke. So yeah, so
no way.
So yeah, so he never come and watched, which I played my heart out as well, and had an absolute stormer, and we won the game. And he wasn't even there to watch. But even afterwards, everyone, to be fair, everyone was saying to me like, "Oh, are you a bit pissed about it?" I was like, "Nah," because I'm still in my head, like I'm a wind-up merchant, so in my head, I'm like,
yeah,
I'm like that someone's proper. So when they ain't really got me, because I was half and half, I was 50-50.
Yeah.
I was thinking it could be him, because obviously people had told me they're going to tell him, but it might not be him. So yeah, it's one of them ones where, yeah, maybe things could have turned out different. You never know, but that's how football, isn't it? That's life.
Yeah, I mean, I think I better come clean now and let you know that it was actually me on the phone, mate.
That wouldn't put it past me 1 minute, mate. I tell you, that's why I never got my hopes up, and I never told the story ever again, because I knew people would be like, "Yeah, all right, but I've heard that one before." I had Pep Guardiola phoning me the other day, telling me to come join him, mate.
I was going to say, when this goes out, mate, your phone's going to be going mental. Jurgen Byron is Jurgen Klopp.
That's it, mate.
When you're playing next, have a quick chat.
Yeah, I'll be like, yeah, all right, mate.
I was going to say, anyway, I could have been a pro, but my dad just bought the wrong club, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly, mate. He should have aimed for higher up. But yeah, no, it's a funny story, and I ain't told no one, to be honest. So I just thought, it's dust under the carpet and move on, isn't it?
Yeah, no. I'd always heard those rumours, and I thought, I've got to ask Byron that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, someone's got me on a big wind-up, mate.
Best player you ever played with?
Oh, yeah, best player I've ever played with by far is Kevin Gibbons. 100.
Yeah.
Like, I just think I was just, when I went up to the first team, obviously we had, like I mentioned earlier, all the players that we had that were real good on the ball now, but he just stood out for me because he doesn't even look like he could play football. Obviously, in his early days, he was young, he was fit, he was in good shape. Obviously, he played in the Premiership and stuff like that. So, but obviously, he got to a stage of his career where he just let himself go. But he was still fit and he was still amazing. And when I played, I'll never forget my first game for the first team. I'm nervous as hell. I've gone up, and then Dykes like, "Yeah, you're starting." I'm thinking, "Oh my god, I'm not good enough to start here." You know what I mean? I've always watched them train with them, and just thought, "I ain't good enough to be in this team yet." Do you know what I mean? And then I was playing in the middle with Gibbo, and Gibbo was like, he's so laid back. He's like the most laid back person ever. And he's like, "You all right, boy?" I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, just like in the reserves, like one stays, one goes, midfielder. So if I go, the other one stays. And so I just said that to him. I goes, oh yeah, if you go, just let me know. Yeah, he goes, the first we turn around, said, don't you worry about me, boy. When I go, mate. The stuff that he could do is unbelievable. Like, he's the strongest guy I've ever played against. Like, even in training and stuff like that. I've seen him bring down balls from goal kicks, roll defenders, all on one touch, lob the goalkeeper. I've just seen him.
Yeah.
He's like a Rolls Royce. Like, he plays the game so easy. And I always just thought in my head, like, what's he doing playing here? Like, every time. But I was so happy that I actually got to play with him because, yeah, he was just the best player I've ever played with, mate. He was unbelievable.
And his heat map would probably just be a dot, wouldn't it?
That's all he needs to be.
Dot on the pitch. He didn't have to move anywhere, but you knew what you were going to get from him.
He always said the first 5 yards is upstairs. That was his get out.
That was his get out.
First 5 yards
making you run everywhere.
And I was thinking, where's upstairs then? I'm all looking upstairs in my house and that, looking for the first 5 yards.
You must have to bypass the first 5
yards. Yeah, I said to him, so
he does the first 5. You do
I said to him, so what age do I get the first 5 yards in? Because right now I can't fucking see it.
Worst player.
What I've played against?
Yeah, either or with or against. The thing is, if we do against, it opens me up.
To be fair, it's hard. I don't know if I can answer that. That's too hard. Worst player I've played with or against. We've had so many in our thingy that's bad. You know what I mean? Because obviously they've only just been there for like a little pit stop, maybe 1 or 2 months, and then obviously we play in a shit league, don't we? So it's gonna be half of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole
league's bad.
Especially in the West League. That was just some bad players in there.
Like you say, you get plenty of them that just they blag their way into a team.
Yeah, someone's mate. Yeah, probably you wanted someone like that, someone who's blagged their way into a team or something who's not that great, but obviously just manages to get signs for everyone.
Like fucking chairman's sons, and they do murder.
Chairman's sons, mate, especially down that winch.
So, what about? Is there any funny moments from games that you can remember?
I've got to tell. Well, there's one of them is obviously Owen Randall, who plays for us now. He come in and Dipes didn't put him in the squad. I don't know why. Him and Dipes got this little on battle going on where they just it's bounced off each other. I don't know what it is. Dipes obviously gives him a hard time. He hates it. He gets moody, and so we come in now. I think he'd done something the week before or something. So Dipes was like, right, Ozzy, you're not in the squad today. So it is what it is at the end of the day. So he's come out and he stood there, and I'm like, you're not in the squad. He's like, no. I'm like, what are you doing? And grab yourself a beer if you're not in the squad. He's like, should I? I was like, yeah, of course you should. That's what I'll be doing if I wanted in the squad. Just get a beer in it. You're not going to play. You're not coming on. And he's like, yeah, all right, yeah, I will actually. So he's gone off, got a can of Foster's. And obviously, so he stood there now, drinking it. Next, we come in at half time, and then to us, he's gone, did you fucking see that? To Dipes, and Dipes was like, what's that? He's like, fucking Owen Randall stood before a game with a beer in his hand. Yeah. So all of us are like fucking like all of us are cracked up because obviously all of us are doing our warm up and we're like, nah, go get a beer. Like we proper talked him into getting a beer. He's like, yeah, I will actually. And then we come into anyway, they left it as that. Dipes is like fuming. He's like, I'm not having that. So we left it, and then we come training. Dipes has obviously brought it up and said, I'm not having fucking no one drinking beers if they're, I don't care if you're not in the squad. Yeah. Very, you don't think you can stand on the sideline drinking beers now. We're all there like fucking trying not to laugh because obviously he was only young. We told him to get one.
Yeah.
Next Saturday comes down, he gives out the wages, and he's like, oh, you must have had a conversation with Ozzy or something on the phone. He's like, right, boys. He's like, Owen Randall he give Ozzy his waste packet. He's like, Owen Randall has got something to say. So he stood up in front of everyone in the change room. He's going, boys, I'm gonna donate my wages to the kitty because obviously because I had a beer before the game last week. So we are all of us, everyone is absolutely crying with laughter. He made him stand up at the front as well and like donate it, take out the money and give it to me because I got the kitty and I'm the reason why he had a beer. Mate, honestly, you couldn't write. It was so funny. I was crying.
That reminds me of when we was at Handball Club, and obviously James Thompson, you played against him, played against him. Ben Neller, obviously at the time, was our manager. It was like he was petrified of Tomo. It was like if he didn't play Tomo, then
Yeah.
Tomo was going to fill him in, basically, every week. I think he was petrified. And we had Nathan Lynch, who went on and one season he scored
had a great season.
near on 50 goals in one season. Yeah, and he actually played holding midfield that season because Nella was too weak to drop Tomo. Because he was petrified of him. And then there was one game he's actually grew a pair and he's gone, right, Tomo, you're not playing today. I think Lynchy had scored a couple of goals the game before or something. I can't remember why he wasn't playing, but he basically wasn't playing. And he's like, and you know what Tomo's like, gets stroppy straight away. As soon as anything don't go his way, that's him. His head's gone. So we're all getting changed in that. Tomo's not even in the changing room for the team talk. We come outside, everyone's ready to go on the pitch. Tomo's there, just necking Foster's. Just down in Foster's, like, yeah, fuck yeah. I'm gonna get steaming now. And like, literally just Nella was like, no, I don't know what to do. But I think he even came on that game. He actually was on the bench, came on, wandered around for a bit, and then that was it.
Yeah, that's
just
funny.
literally reminds me exactly of that. Yeah, but so obviously it's typical of you winding up Owen. I remember another time when you're basically the ringleader of some of the banter. And do you remember when there was a lad, and I'm going to try word it in a way where we get to the punchline at the end. So there was a lad who played for us. He was playing fullback. He wasn't a bad player, but he wasn't great. But he was one of them. And with Sholing, it's always you've got to fit in early doors, haven't you? If you don't sort of banter back and forth with the lads, if you're too serious about life and stuff like that, you're not really going to fit in with at the club. And I remember I think we were playing away one day, and this lad come on the coach, and I think he had like a Marvel hat on or something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you remember what the hat was? Do you know the funny thing is? He plays for Hyde and Dibden now, and whenever I see him play, and I say I'll tell people about it, and I don't even know his name. I still call him Crap Hat. His nickname was Crap Hat.
It was a One Direction hat.
What hat was it?
Honestly, he's come on the coach. He's come on the coach, and he's like, he's come on the coach with a hat, and he's like, "What is that?" And he's like, "No, I think he said his sister asked him to wear it or something. So he's going to wear it." And I was like, "You ain't that ain't going home with that." And he's like, "He is," and he's giving all that. So we started having a few beers now. Next, someone obviously took his hat off it and then passed it around the coach like you do with like phones and that. Things get passed around the coach so fast. He ends up with the driver, and then so after that he's getting real fuming now. He's like, "No, where's my hat? Give me my hat." And everyone's like, "Mate, you ain't having it." And then from then we're like, "It's a crap." He's like, we're like, "You're crap. The hat's crap." We're like, "You are crap hat, mate." And then after that, no joke, on the pitch, that was it. His name was Crap Hat. So anyone wanted to pass or anything, we were like, "Crap Hat," and that is it. It just stuck. and like you say, I can't remember. Anyone who says, "Yeah, remember that player who played," I still call him Crap Hat. And it's
I think his name's Liam. Bless him. I won't say his full name because he might be embarrassed. But honestly, that was hilarious, and it still sticks to me today. When I see him play, I was like, "Oh, there's Crap Hat." I think people go, "What do you mean Crap Hat?" And I'm like, "Oh." And then just tell them what I mean.
I think that ties in nicely to the next question. So,
worst dressed. I don't know. I'll tell you what, Crap Hat's got to be up there. But to be fair, it wasn't too bad. It was just a hat. I just don't know why you turn up in a pink and white One Direction hat and think you can sit on the coach. It's just weird. But worst dressed, I don't know. It's got to be. Like, we got Stuart Green player who plays for us now, and he's a teacher, and he dresses like a teacher. You just everything about him. Like, he wears like top. He wears tops with he wears like a t-shirt with a pocket at the front and that, and he puts his phone in it. He's just real weird.
He ain't got one of them jumpers.
Yeah, I don't know. He loves a jumper shirt combo as well, and a pair of jeans with his big wallet hanging out in his back pocket.
That's one thing it's never been, has it? It's never been a jumper.
He loves it. That's his collar. That's his style. Yeah,
that's
so. I'd probably say him, to be honest, because everyone's been at Sholing. He's had quite a bit of style. Everyone likes the nicest boots. Everyone wears the nice trainers and wants to look good and stuff. We've always prided ourselves on good tracksuits, and I think that stems from the gaffer, because the gaffer likes to dress well. He likes to have the best tracksuits and stuff like that. So we've always looked all right. And then Stu comes in. If he comes in from work because he's late and he ain't got his tracksuit on, he comes in and with like the stuff that he wears, we're like, proper school teacher. Proper, that's it. You just look at him, you know he's a school teacher, yeah.
Straight from school. All right, so what about worst excuses for missing a game or training? You got any of those?
Yeah, one stands out, and that's obviously Pete Garsel. I think he just got with his missus now, who's Hannah, and he couldn't make the game, and we was like, why? He just said he's working, he's got work and stuff like that, so he couldn't make it. That old chestnut, yeah. So we were like, all right, anyway. So we was on the coach on the way back from somewhere. I can't remember. It was on a Tuesday. I think it was on a Tuesday night. He was on the way back from somewhere, and obviously Watsy and that are obviously must know his missus and that. So they were following her on social media or something, and they've gone, oh no, look at this, and we're like, what's that? And he's like, look at this, and he showed us a picture of Pete baking cakes with a penny on. Yeah, no. Yeah, with a penny on. So we're like, nah, he's never missed a game for baking cakes. So from then, obviously his name was Champagne Pete. His name was, that's what we used to call him, and he went from Champagne Pete to Penny Pete in seconds, mate. And
that one helped. Tongue better.
Yeah, he had to score quite a few goals because he was a goal scorer in centre half. He scored quite a few goals. He had to score quite a few goals for him to go back to Champagne Pete. I tell you. Imagine missing the game to bake cakes.
Tell you what, though, them cakes weren't bad. I popped around after. I tried a few. Decent.
Oh, but yeah. There's been loads of excuses, but that one there would always stick out for me just because it's funny because it wouldn't normally happen to Pete, but it did. So,
all right. So we go best and worst. Who's got the best and worst banter that you've come across? Obviously, if there's so many characters at that club, there must be some good and bad characters in there.
Yeah, best has got to be Adam Canfield, Parky.
Yeah,
him between him, Ash, and Mark Diaper, Baby Dipes. I think between them three, they're just non-stop, and they make you laugh all the time, and like the stuff they come out with, no filter. But like I say, you've got to, if you didn't know them, you probably wouldn't like them.
Yeah.
It's that sort of band.
I understand it.
Yeah, so if you just come into a changing room, you probably be like, "Oh, they're dicks. I like them."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But once you get to know them, and once you're in there, they're funny. They're just
got to have a bit about you, and especially
100%. Yeah. The good thing is about the ones that come up when them boys were around. The people that were coming up were like me, obviously Marv, and people that can take banter and all stuff like that. And then carts that come up, so they just automatically just fit straight into the change room. You know, you didn't have to try too hard. But these days here, it's like the teenagers are getting quieter and quieter. So
and weirder.
Weirder. The worst banter. I just think anyone that's young these days, to be honest, unless they banter with themselves and they find it funny, but they're just so quiet, just sit in the change room and just don't really say much. If they do, it's just irrelevant to anything. So you know what I mean? I don't want to hear about like what you ate the week like last night and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You're going to come into a change room or just like tell me something funny.
You know what I mean? I don't want to see selfies of you on Instagram either. You're a bloke.
Yeah, I don't want to see none of that. I don't want to, you know what I mean?
Selfies with music and stuff like that. What is going on?
Yeah.
Hashtag business moves and that.
Yeah.
You just sat in Nando's.
Talking about your night out and you had like 3 beers and that. Oh, come on.
A little bit of a shameless plug, but we've actually got Mark Diaper on episode 3, so
yeah, he's funny, mate.
Plenty more banter.
Yeah,
plenty more banter to come. He's one of you're putting him down as one of the most with banter.
I would, yeah, I'd definitely put him down. Definitely.
That's good. That's good news.
I think the worst banter when we was at Winch, when we won the Wessex. It was fucking legend in the change room, and then Prez had a shit in the cup, didn't he?
Yeah,
that was actually the worst fucking banter.
Just won the Wessex.
Yeah,
Wessex Prem. Was it first time ever they Winchester won it?
Yeah, weird as fuck.
Might not have been the first time, but first time we'd ever won it. Yeah. You know, we were quite young.
Yeah,
we just fucking curled one up in the cup. Fucking weird, man.
Not funny at all, is it? It's just fucking crap.
Your old man was fuming, man. Surprised.
Yeah, Ryan Ashford. He's like probably the dirtiest. Like before.
I know he would do.
Yeah, he was just like. It was just people like Mark Diaper always like clips his toenails before games or something. This is what he does, and then Ryan Ashford would like eat it, even if it's black and that. He'd eat it.
Eat it.
He go. Show me that, and they give it to him, and he just chuck his mouth and eat it, and that. Like he just, he just does. He's just a different breed, mate. Same as like on the coach on the way back one day. You know, Paul Sells.
Yeah,
obviously a legend of the non-league. He played for us on like towards the end of his career. And we was on the coach drinking and stuff like that. And then I don't know what happened. It was all fighting in the back of the coach. And then they pinned Horse. We call him Horse. His name's Paul Sales. They pinned Horse down and then pulled down his trousers. And then one of them, I can't remember if it was Adzi or it was Ash licked his nut at the back of the coach, and he was there. He had like 3 people on him. He's like, get off me, going mental, going like laughing, obviously laughing about it, but they were just trying to lick his nut. And I was just there, and I was like, listen, I like full on banter, but I laugh about it, but I won't participate in that. No way.
All right, so that probably brings us to a good point for our break. We're gonna take a break from our guest, and we're gonna go into a comedy segment where we're gonna have on every episode called the 10-minute phone in with Alrightfans, and it's probably a good place to leave it with Byron, where we'll leave you with a little cliffhanger, and we're going to talk about Ryan Scottgate after the comedy segment, which is a lot of people from our area will know about this story, and quite an interesting one for you to talk about.
Cool.
How good are United then? Are they actually any good? Do you reckon the squad's good enough to actually compete next year? Is Ollie actually a good manager, or is he just the best of a bad bunch?
For me, I haven't seen United be a good side in 5-10 years.
Yeah, I just think obviously Bruno Fernandes has changed their game, and I think you take him out of that squad. Who else have you got really?
Back in the day, you looked at the lineup and said Keane, Giggs, Beckham. It looked like a good side. Now I look at the side and I can't even recognise the names.
Yeah, I don't think there's... Again, if you look at the whole squad, and I know I've said it, but take out Bruno Fernandes, who else is actually going to get in or anywhere near that Man City team? And Ollie, like, again, I think he's there because people just like him. He's just a nice bloke, isn't he? That's all he is. He's a nice bloke.
Yeah, he's the PE teacher that everyone got on with, isn't he, basically? Should we go to a call, shall we, and see who we got on the line and see what their opinions are on United's chances for the future?
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, mate. What's your name?
Right. Doesn't matter my name. I'm qualified to talk football. You two are already starting to piss me off, innit? You know that, innit?
What's up?
You're starting to really piss me off talking about United. Ollie has not got a clue.
Calm yourself down, mate. Calm yourself down.
Shut up. Calm yourself down. You calm yourself down talking to me.
Calm yourself down, mate, and just give us some good points. Name 2 other players that can get near the Man City squad other than Bruno Fernandes.
Messi, Tony M, Rashi, ADC, Donny DVD, Bruni. What? Proper techie. Bruni,
no
the proper technician. Bruni. The proper techie. The certified PT.
Do they not vet the callers when they call in at the moment? I have no idea any of those players you're talking about, pal. What's good about them then? Tell me what's good about those players.
Listen, Man City, shitty Pepe. You're telling me the title is over just because City are 10 points clear at the top of the roster? You really believe? You know your football. You don't know how football can change. Climbing run rate.
This is the problem. This is the problem with United fans. Since 1997, when Fergie was about, when they used to rule the roost, United fans have not changed. They still think what haircut you got, mate? You got keratin still, yeah? You still stuck in 1997? Because it sounds like you're not watching the same United side that I am.
Have you ever been to Old Trafford, the Dream Factory?
Have you ever been to Old Trafford? I'm pretty sure you haven't, mate.
Yes. Original trophy hunter. Original trophy hunter.
Have you paid to have a tour down there, have you?
No.
Right, so yeah, look, you still ain't answered my question. Name 2 other players that would get anywhere near Man City squad other than Bruno Fernandes.
Messi, Rashi, Donny, Tony M, ADC, Easy, Hendy, Lindy, Harry Macca, Lukey, Spider-Man.
It's one of these mental fans again. Right, no, look, you just name a name. Tell me reasons why. Tell me reasons why you think they're anywhere near
Who
the
do
Man
you
City
support,
squad.
Who do you support, Tell me.
I support Arsenal.
Oh, my God, shitty Arsenal.
This ain't about Arsenal.
To me about Man United.
This isn't about Arsenal. You're just deflecting.
I'm not deflecting. You say the league title, 10 points claim, shitty City, boring, peppy, techie, posse, keepy. I don't want to watch that.
Look,
I
man,
want to watch the old United way, the old attack, the old swashbucklers, top scorers, highest run rate in the Premier League. We are United, and we are back. So fuck you. And you?
Dear. Oh dear, I don't know. I don't know what to say to you, mate. I mean, for me, United's not even a football club anymore. It used to be the biggest club in the world. Now it's just a business run by Yanks.
Keeney, Giggsy, Bexy, Butty, Gary, Phil, Yorkie, Coley, Teddy, Ollie. The good old days.
Yeah, these are all old school players, mate.
The dream factory of Bugby's Way. Or
It's the
Big
thing.
Samet Busby looking down across the holy turf, raising up trebles from the ground. The original trophy hunters.
This is the thing, mate.
I
think if we somehow manage to get the class of 92, get them back together at their age now, I think they'd still beat the United side that you've got at the moment.
You're talking too much about players. It's a team game, man.
Listen,
You know that, ain't it? You know it's a team game.
listen, mate, we're going around in circles, all right? I mean, we asked a question. I don't know if you even answered it yet. We're saying, will United ever win the Premier League again? Are they going to be able to challenge next season? Have you got an answer for that?
Well, big summer coming up, ain't it? Big summer coming up. We can catch the City boys. Head-to-head top six is nice. It's the droppy pointies against the minnows, the old rattlesnakes at the bottom of the roster. Big summer coming up.
Who is this?
We don't want Neymar, maybe CR7, Sancho, Mbappe, Haaland, Messi is okay, KDB, Smalling, no problem. Sign up the boys, bring them back to OT. Smalling, come back. CR7, welcome home. Sancho, come back to Manchester. We will rise to the top.
I've had some delusional Man United fans in my time, but can you think
Just
of one
reading
of the
off
top list?
names. You're just reading off names.
Half the names I don't even know.
Yeah, I know.
You don't know your names. This is why I make you feeling uncomfortable. Delusional bastards. You don't know your football. One of you support fucking Arsenal, for fuck's sake. Who the other one support?
Oh, well, it don't really matter. I support
Who you
Southampton,
support?
but
Tell me, Southampton. Oh my God, shitty Saints conceded 9. Fucking 0 for 9 at OT. And you talk to me about fucking Old Trafford and the trophy hunters. You went down 9 for 9 in front of
I'll tell you what, this is the only time I can agree with you, mate. It's probably the only time on this whole call I agree with you. And that's
God.
that Southampton is shocking, and that 9-0, there's just no words for it.
Exactly. You don't know what you're talking, so I'm out of breath. Fucking not very fit. Had hard time during lockdowns. Nice to speak to people.
Thanks very much for your time, pal. All the best in the Dream Factory anyway, all right?
Fuck you! Fuck you!
Who the fuck was that, by the way?
Mate, I think we need to expect these kind of lunatics ringing up every single week on that 10-minute phone-in.
Absolute delusion.
Anyway, back with our guest now, Byron. Before we left, we were just teasing you with the Ryan Scott story. So, Byron, in your own words, do you want to give us an explanation of what happened there?
Oh, that one there, eh? Yeah. Yeah, I get asked about this a lot, to be fair, and it's just obviously, like I said, in my younger days, I don't think I was playing for Sholing for that long. I didn't really care about football, to be honest. Like, like how many times I've quit about it. I just play it because my mates play it, and then I started enjoying it. But obviously, where I come from, like, football's not the be all end all. You gotta learn how to survive in my area and stuff like that. So when someone takes things too far, it's automatic reaction to be like, listen, like, I don't really care about football. Like, you can't put your hands on me and stuff like that. So we were playing Tottenham away. I think they were top, we were second. So it was obviously top of the table clash. And obviously we played against Ryan Scott a few times. He's never really done nothing to me, but I've just heard he's just been a dick. No one really likes him. He just thinks he's that hard man in midfield and stuff like that. But he's never really done anything to me. Played against him a few times. And nothing really. A couple of hard tackles, but that's what midfield's for, isn't it? That's what you do. Like, you don't moan. I don't moan when I get tackled, and you know what I mean. I don't moan when I give out a good tackle. So we're playing them at their ground. He's just walking around the pitch, and he's kicking Kevin Gibbons, and Kevin Gibbons is like, "What are you off the ball?" And Kevin Gibbons is like, "What are you doing, you idiot?" Because I was in the middle with him. And he's like, "Yeah," and he's like giving it the rah rah. And I was just thinking in my head, I just said to Gibbo, I said like, "Fuck him off. Like, he's being a dick. He just walk around trying to be the hard man." And and then me and him end up having the argument because he kicked Gibbo, and I was like, "Look, you're being a dick off the ball." I said, "Don't try and kick him off the ball and all that." And then he's like, "Yeah, I'll do it to you." I said, "Well, come do it to me then." I said, is that what you're doing to everyone else around the pitch? Come and do it to me. He's like, all right. So we're going in for a few hard tackles and stuff like that. Like when you're on the ball, I knew he was coming to tackle, and when he was on the ball, he knew I was coming and stuff like that. And then he just took it to, like, I don't mind that. I've got no problem with that. He can say what he wants on the pitch and anything. I don't mind. I've had banter with loads of people, but this one time he just took it too far. He was off the ball. He come up to me and he started pinching my chest. And he done it. And he done it once. And I said to him, look, I just said to him, look, I said, don't touch me. Like we can have banter all day. I'm not bothered, but don't put your hands on me. He's like, oh, what? I said, listen, don't put your hands on me. I said, if you do it again, you watch. And he done it again. And obviously all my players know what I'm like. I'm hot-headed, real hot-headed. So I was like to my players, I was like, listen, I was saying to him, like, a corner come, I was like, fuck the game. I'm done with the game. Like these cunkies are putting his hands on me. I'm not having it. And there's like, no, boys, top of the table. Like, look, we need 10 men on the pitch. And I thought, you know, I don't want to let my players down. I was like, all right, you know what? All right, cool. So anyway, he carried on doing it. And then I just said to him, look, you're giving it all this now, yeah? We'll see after, yeah? I'll come after the game, come up to me and pinch my chest. He's like, all right, watch. Yeah. All right, I will. And then anyway, game's finished. I'm fuming. So fuming. I'm so fuming. It's unbelievable because normally, like if this was 2 or 3 years ago, I'd have whacked him on the pitch and got sent off because everyone knows that I got red cards all the time. So I'd have whacked him and got sent off. But I just thought, you know what? I'm going to keep my calm. After the game, I'll see if he wants to carry on doing it. So finished the game. I've gone in there. I've got in the shower. I didn't speak to no one. Dipes is talking about the game. I'm in the shower. I'm like, fuck this. I've had enough. Like, I ain't having no one disrespect me on the pitch and like put their hands on me. So I was thinking, if he's a big man, how he says he was, how he's going around kicking people and doing everything he does, I thought he'd come and see me. So as it was, I've got changed. I've walked straight out. I didn't even tell my brother or nothing. They was all there. I didn't say nothing to no one. I just walked out the change room, went into the car park, waited there, and I thought, let's see if he comes out. Who comes walking out? He comes walking out.
Was he one of the first?
Yeah, he's one of the first. Yeah, he comes walking out. So I'm like, all right, at least he's held.
Bad karma for him.
No, I'm just saying, at least he's held up his end of the bargain because there's no point of being a dick on the pitch. Yeah, and I know what everyone's going to think. Banter stays on the pitch, but it's not banter when someone's coming up to you and physically pinching you and shit like that. Like it's not. It's gone past that now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So obviously so when we got there, so we got in the car park and that, and then just obviously just started throwing blows at each other and that, and then it's just obviously my blows were landing in it and his wasn't, and that's you know what I mean.
And that's what she wrote.
Yeah, but it's like it wasn't like I was out there. And then I heard all loads of stories about me and my brother jumped him and stuff, and my brother's
that's wild, to be fair.
So much rubbish. My brother and Marvin that come out and they pulled me off him. They said it's not worth it. They dragged me off him and said leave it because I was in a rage. You know what I mean? And obviously we was having a fight in that, but it's just a fight after the game. Like if it happened on the pitch, no one would have really said anything. But because it was such a big game at the Daily Echo there, obviously doing a report on the game. So I've gone anyway, and then they've obviously took their chance. It's a good story, innit, for a paper. It's a great story.
Yeah,
exactly perfect for them. So they've took his chance to take photos of him on the thingy, and then also I woke up. Anyway, I got home. I woke up the next day. No, I woke up on Monday. Gone to work. Gone to the shop. Looked at the newspaper, and there's a picture of me and him on the front page of the paper on the Echo, saying that obviously a fight that I beat him up on the front page. And I'm like, are you taking the piss? Like at the end of the day, if that could have been me, getting beat up. Do you see what I'm saying? Like it's not. It's a fight. Yeah. It's a one-on-one. Like it's like one person loses or one person wins, and that's it. And that's exactly how it is.
You both agreed to do it.
It's simple as that. So I was thinking, obviously, I know they've made him do it, and all his Cubs made him do it because they obviously tried to get me banned and all stuff like that, and they was going through to try and get me the FA to ban me fully and all stuff like that. But then I just thought that the newspapers took the mick by putting that on there without even talking to me about it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? That's what I'm trying to say. But now if the shoes on the other side of the foot and he come out there and he beat me up or whatever, and I was looking like how he looked, I wouldn't even have spoke to the paper. Because in the, end of the day, I'm being a hard man on the pitch, giving it all that. I've obviously agreed to meet someone after. They've told me in, and that's it. It's as simple as that, isn't it? Yeah. You live and you learn. But what made it worse is that on Monday morning, obviously after I've looked at the paper now, I'm getting loads of phone calls and stuff like that, and I'm obviously explaining to people what happened, explaining to Dykes what happened. And Dykes says, like, look, mate, I've got your back at the end of the day. Obviously, I know you're a hothead, but at the end of the day, like, I've managed you for how many years and you've never put your hands on anyone while I've managed you. So I've got no reason to believe, I've got no reason to like doubt you that obviously that he obviously wanted it. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, of course. I'm not just going to go and, how can I meet someone? I'm not going to, if he didn't want it, he'd have just stayed in the change room. But obviously I'm not going to meet someone in the car park if he didn't want to be there. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Exactly.
So so after looking at the paper and that, I'm thinking, obviously my mum and that's got to see it. Everyone's going to see it. Everyone's judging it because there's a big picture of him with his face all cut up and stuff like that. And then there's a little picture of me of a different play, like screwing my face up as if like
back when you're
yeah,
Iceman,
do you know what I mean? Like as
up,
if to say like he's trouble and stuff. Anyway, so
try to find a worse.
yeah, do you know what I mean? Like that sort of stuff. So anyway, so I'm at work now.
Yeah.
I get a phone call from Dipes, and obviously I worked for Dipes, and I got a phone call from him, and he said, "But I need you back at the yards." And I was like, "Oh, what's up?" He's like, "Oh, police are here," and I was like, "Oh, here we go." So I said, "All right, I'll be back in a minute." So I went back to the yards, and obviously there was a police car there. All the yards outside, all the officers are outside looking, and they took me to the police station. To is it Lyndhurst? Is it Lyndhurst or Lympton? Is there one in Lyndhurst?
I think so. Yeah.
Police station kept me in there for like 6-7 hours. I was in there for. Do you know what I mean? Like yeah.
Decent.
You know what I mean? Without even hearing. And in the end, the sergeant, obviously, while I was in there, they was looking through the Daily Echo website because you know you can go on a website and you can write down comments and that of what you think and that. And luckily, loads of people put on.
Yeah, Connor knows a bit about that.
Yeah.
What's that?
About comments on Daily Echoes.
Oh yeah, I've got some lovely ones on there.
Luckily, loads of people were saying that that's Ryan Scott's a bully. He does it all the time. He obviously
did he bully you?
Did he bully me? Yeah, basically. Yeah,
massively.
But yeah, they're saying that he's a bully and he does it all the time, and loads of people just saying that. But I didn't know this because obviously I'm in the sales, and I ain't even looked on the thingy. So the police, they come in, they interviewed me. I told them what happened. I didn't lie to them. I just told them exactly what happened. And then they just said, and then they come back in. The sergeant come in and said, "Look, we've read through the echo, and that it seems like he's a bit of a bully, and it just seems like he's bit off more than he can chew." And that's how they left it. And then so I got a lift back in, got to work the next day. I had a meeting with Dipes, and this was on the Monday. On the Tuesday, we had Polton Rovers away, and then everyone's on. I think I don't know if it was Twitter or wherever they was on. They were saying that it will be a disgrace if Dipes starts me in that game. The next game. So Dipes is like, yeah, I'm getting all this shit saying if I start you, he goes, but boy, you know I got you, but I'm going to start you. He said, you've been police station, you got no further action. Obviously, we're still waiting to see what the FA are going to do about it.
Fair play.
And
Fair play.
yeah, he literally just said, he just said, well, I'm starting you, and then obviously he started me, and we won 4-1, and I scored. I scored though.
All from outside the box.
Everyone went mental. My whole team jumped on me and like smothered me and was going get like proper celebrating with me because obviously they knew what happened in that. And and then after that, next day we see it's a disgrace how Dave played Byron and like proper going mental about it as well. I'm like, hold on a minute. Like if the shoe's on the other foot, I wouldn't even you wouldn't even know about it. That's it. I wouldn't even know about it. It's a lesson learned, and I'll leave it as that.
So obviously, another big thing that Sholing had been involved in was that there's a Budweiser campaign which again you can see it on YouTube if you type in Budweiser supporting Sholing, you can see what we're talking about. And you were heavily starring in that advert as well. What was that like? Was it cringy to do, or did you have fun making that?
Nah, do you know what the worst thing is? And this is no word of a lie. I didn't even know what it was going to be about. So we always get students from Solent and the university and that asking if they can come to our club to do for one of their assignments. So to do a bit of work and interview some players and that. And Dykes has always been open to it because he said, look, if it helps them out, it's good. And it gives us free publicity. So it's good. Do you know what I mean? It's good for both ends.
Yeah.
But obviously where I'm captain, people always want to speak to me. So, and obviously where I work for Dykes, he can just give me the time to get out of work whenever I want.
Yeah.
So they said, so they phoned him and said, look, we're coming down to obviously they said they work for the university. And so we're coming down to do a little video on the club and that. So Dykes is like, all right. He phoned me. He's like, look, but I know you do it all the time. He goes, but could you meet him over there at about, I think it was like 11 o'clock or something in the daytime, but I was at work. And obviously he was my managing director. So he can say I can leave whenever I want. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, yeah, no worries. He said, yeah, if you and Marv want to go over there, it's just a couple of students just want to do a bit of filming for you. No word of a lie, mate. We was there for about 6 hours. No word of a lie. We was there. And normally, the ones that we normally do are just like maybe 2 hours or something. Then they got less equipment. But they was like, oh, no, this is like for our final project. Like fully lying to us. This is our fun. We really appreciate it. They had like a little smoke machine and stuff like that to make it look better. And that.
Yeah.
They did about 20 takes. They'd be doing keep-ups.
sparklers.
Yeah, they had me doing keep ups.
The keep ups must have took forever.
Oh mate, honestly, I was getting like they said, can you do like 4 or 5? I was getting a 2 and kept dropping it. I was like, but yeah, no. So I was cooperating.
We'll just loop that one. We'll loop that one 50 times.
Yeah, right. Literally, and then
boomerang of it.
It's lucky that Marv is it's lucky that I'm a bit like, nah, let's just do it because Marv had enough. Marv's like, I'm going home in a minute. He goes, I've had enough. We've been here all day. I'm going.
I can imagine.
Yeah, Marv was fuming, but obviously, we was in work hours. We're there. We should have been working, but we're there. You know. So in the end, they got whatever they needed to get, and then they obviously wanted to. We had our 2 finals, didn't we? We had one on a Monday and one on a Wednesday of the League Cup on the Monday, and then the Savannah Senior Cup on a Wednesday. So they wanted to come in, film everyone, but then do a bit with me before the game. And we was playing Baffins at Porchester's ground on the Monday in a final. I think it was like a bank holiday or something. Because the FA said that we had to get them done. So we had to get 2 finals done. One Monday, one Tuesday, one Wednesday. So they come up there and they's like, oh, boy, can we do a bit of you before the game? And I'm there and I'm like, oh, Jesus, I just want to just play the game. Do you know what I mean? But I was like, all right. But bearing in mind, we still just think it was students. And then they come over and they're like, yeah, can you do this? Can you do this pose? Like, put your hand in there. Can you do this? Take a shot over there. Ask me questions. Say a bit about yourself and all stuff like that.
Show us your knob.
Yeah, all of that. And then obviously the Baffins teams turn up and they're on the pitch. And I'm on the pitch on my own doing all these poses and stuff. And they're all there laughing. And I'm like, nah, this needs to stop now. I'm like, I've had enough. This is it. And then I was like, that's it. I said, I'm done. I said, look, I ain't going to do no more, mate. I've got to concentrate on the game. He's like, oh, yeah, no worries, fella, no worries. I was thinking, they're pushing their boundaries. They're seeing what they could do. They're going to have me barking like a dog in a minute. And anyway, so we played the game and we won that. And then they come to Saint Stadium, tried to get in. They wouldn't let them film in there, but they've come and filmed us afterwards and that. And we're like, I'm thinking, right, this must be a big uni project. But I'm going with it anyway because Dykes is like, look, it'd be good if you can go with it. You know, we've got Mickey Travers talking. I'm going to be speaking on there, and it's just for them. And they're going to put it out on YouTube and that, so people can have a little bit of insight to our club and that.
Mickey Travers, he gets well emotional in it as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Did Dykes know?
No, Dykes didn't know at all. No one knew because Dykes didn't even meet them at first. He got a phone call and he sent me to meet him, and I done it all. But then they wanted to interview Dykes after me, so they interviewed him after me. And then in the end, they said, "Oh yeah, we've done the video because if we can get everyone together and show you what it's and show you how it's come out like." And Dykes like, "Yes, but whereabouts going to do it?" She's like, "Oh, we've gone to this pub and they said we can put it on their big TV so we can see it properly." So there's everyone crowding around a laptop watching it. So we were like, and Dykes like, look, instead of training, we'll meet there, but everyone has to be there because we would normally be training. And we're like, everyone in our group's like, fucking, this is shit. Like, what the fuck are we going to a pub for to go watch a shitty film and all that? Like, probably getting arsey with it. Some people are like, I ain't going, but no, I ain't going. But lucky Dykes said that everyone had to go because normally we would be training. Yeah. So we get to this pub now, and they're like, oh, do you want anyone want a beer? And we're like, what? They're like, yeah, we're buying them. Thanks for helping us. Like, we're buying the beers. We're like, all right. So they bought a load of Budweisers. We're all there, stood there drinking Budweiser, and then they're like, we still don't know nothing about it. We're just thinking, we're like, right, before we watch this video that we've done, which we think's come out pretty good. And I was thinking, oh, here we go. They're going to see me doing keep ups and dropping the ball and shit. And they goes, oh, and they said, boy, do you want to come up and read this letter? And I was thinking, fucking hell. Obviously, I don't like reading as it is. I hate reading, especially in front of people.
It looks like you're struggling to read that.
Especially in front of people. Honestly, I can't stand it. It's like one of my worst nightmares. Yeah, is reading. So I literally, I stood up there, I started reading it, and then when I started reading it, obviously to make me read a little bit quicker, I read a bit first, just so it flows off the tongue a bit better. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, if not, it'd be like the cat is in the hat and something like that. I didn't want to end up being like that. Do you know what I mean? So I'm there now, and then I've read that obviously we're from Budweiser, and normally they give like they separate out to different clubs. So one club will get 25k, one club will get 15, another club will get 10. Just to help out clubs, but this first year is the first year they're giving the whole 100 grand to one club. And then I read it out and they said, yeah, we're giving your club like 100 grand. And they went round, they interviewed, they've done the same as what they've done to us, but to loads of different clubs. And then they had to choose one at the end, the film crew, had to choose one for Budweiser. Budweiser obviously trusted them to choose them. And they said that Mays had done it. He said, look, your interviews and that and all the stuff you've done for us, and we see the club and how run down it is now. They said, we just said straight away, this is the club that we want to give the money to. So really, it's lucky that I cooperated, and then like if we'd have sent Marv up there, we'd have still if we'd have sent Marv up there, we'd have still been in the pigeon coop, mate. We would have.
That leads on nicely because Rory's told me what the change rooms like at Sholing before that.
Oh mate, well they've been there for about 45 years for starters, and they're just so bad. Floors were sinking. Just
I'm sure a couple of people have caught gangrene.
Yeah,
from,
honestly, mate.
from just standing
Yeah,
in there.
showers go cold quick. Like if the shoves come off and have a shower first, people that come off after that, there's no point of having one. Like it was so bad.
And this you can see it, can't you? In that YouTube video, you can actually see, there's a little shot of the change rooms. So if anyone wants to check out how bad, we're not lying when we say how bad it is. You can have a look.
And the worst thing is that was after they give it a lick of paint and that. It was even worse before that. They actually spent a little bit of money on it to make it look all right while we were still in there.
Put some filters on the
do you know what I mean? But yeah, so it was mad, mate. It was when I read that out and I realised again us £100,000. Dykes couldn't believe it. Dykes afterwards, he looked like he wanted to cry, mate. He was just like he couldn't believe it. And they was like, and obviously the film crew was like, did we do a good job of keeping it quiet? And I was like, yeah, you did. I was like, I said, I ain't gonna lie to you. At one point, I was gonna walk out. And he cracked up and he goes, you know what? We did say, let's see how far we can push him to see what stuff we could do.
It gets a great footage of him losing.
He was all right, to be fair. He was sound. He's like, look, we did say that, like, we are taking the mick, getting him doing keep ups and getting him to like do these mad poses and stuff like that. But he goes, but you cooperated well. I was like, look, I've done it for the club. Like, that's it. Dykes asked me to do it, and I said, yeah. But then I thought, at one stage, I'm going in a minute. But he's lucky I didn't, because they got the £100,000, which obviously is done the ground up lovely.
And you can tell, obviously, I didn't even know that. Obviously, I've watched the video, and you can see actually in the way you're reading it, it's like a surprise to
mate. It was a full. And
that's what I was kind of thinking. It was like, were you like trying to pretend and put on this like whole like act that you're surprised that they're doing it? But obviously, the way you've explained it now, it makes complete sense. The way you've read that out, and everyone's like celebrating.
Honestly, mate, it was a full on. It was we had no one had no clue about it. I just literally thought it was just a uni project that just probably spent a little bit more money on cameras and stuff like that, because that's all it was. And then obviously, if it was scripted, I'm telling you now, I'd have took that letter home and learnt it down to a teammate.
like a bad internet
connection.
No, that's brilliant. That is. All right. So, well, we've covered a lot on this episode. What we're going to do now, we're going to finish with something that we do with every guest that we have on. Something we call top four. So we're going to ask for your favourite of the following four subjects. So first one, we'll go, what are your favourite boots ever?
Favourite boots ever? Cool, that's a tough one. I'm going to think about it, but I think I'm going to have to go with the Total 90s, the ones that Torres wore? The Nike ones, the red and white ones?
Oh, yeah.
What ones are they?
You know about the ones that had like the sort of red round the sides of them? Then it was
yeah.
top,
You had all different colours in it. So I had the white ones with the red, with the big thick red bit at the front, and then you can get you had the blue ones. Torres wore them. I think they were were they Total 90s? Have you got a picture of them?
Yeah, Total 90s.
Total 90s, isn't it? The red on the front, and then like white on the side with a red Nike tick.
Yeah.
And I think Rooney wore them at some stage. Where he wore the orange and black ones at some stage after he finished with them boots he used to wear.
I'm surprised they haven't had a little remake. Quite a lot of the boots have had a remake. Have they? I haven't seen them.
I've actually been looking for them. I've been looking for them everywhere. Yeah, I've been looking for them everywhere. Yeah.
There's a pair here for free.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's how much they are.
You found some on eBay,
yeah? I ain't paying that much. No way. Not to run.
Not at this stage of your career.
I don't even touch the ball with my feet. I ain't paying that much just to header.
All right, so second one is your favourite ever kit that you've worn?
Oh, I'll tell you what, there's been some good ones. Like I say, Dykes really likes his kits and his tracksuits and that. He prides himself on it. We had a Nike one years ago for Sholing, a red and white Nike one, and the away kit was blue and yellow. And I think because it was Nike and I love Nike, I think that would probably be the best one. Although when I look back at it, it looks baggy as hell. But I think if you brought that kit into this day and age and made it fitted, I think that would probably be the best kit.
Yeah. It's funny, you don't see a lot of Nike kits, do you, really, at our level? It's
Jomas and
affordable. Joma rules have done it.
Yeah.
Macron.
Yeah. Jomas the king and only.
Because the price difference is crazy, mate. You want to go get a full Nike kit for everyone, you're looking at thousands. If like obviously you still look at thousands for a Joma one, but I'm talking you're knocking off half price. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, exactly. All right, the third one is favourite ground that you've ever played at.
Probably. Yeah, so one recently I've played at was a couple last year. I think they just got their ground done that stands out is Melksham's ground. which is unbelievable. Yeah, they just
Yeah.
spent loads of money on it. I think it's a whole new grounds, like massive car park, massive pitches, immaculate, change rooms are immaculate. It just looks real good, and it'd be like something like that. You'd love to play. You'd love to go there every week and play. You know, yeah.
Yeah, we're just having a look now. We can see it literally looks state of the art, doesn't it? It's the ground, the pitch is flat. You're not expecting to play a league game on a pitch
and
like that.
They won, like I was saying, they won 9 on the bounce, and then we went up there with a scratch team, and we looked at the ground and we thought, oh no, this team is gonna absolutely pop us. Because normally when you see a good pitch, you know they've kept that pitch good for one reason, to pop that ball. Yeah, and we end up winning 4-1, which with a real scratch team. So that's so right now that's like one of my favourite rounds, to be honest. we played so good.
Yeah.
It was amazing, mate. So yeah, I'd say Melksham. Yeah, on a carpet, real nice night. It was like well watered. It was everything about it was just nice. It was just decent.
All right, and finally, your favourite ever goal.
Favourite ever goal. I'm gonna say for the first team, I'm gonna have to go with the one against probably Portchester. Couple years back.
Okay.
Nah, it wasn't actually. Nah, this is why it's my favourite. I've got loads of headers, some good headers, but my favourite goal was probably because D-Dan had a wedding to go to, and it was like it was like top of the thing. It was like 4th or something. We were top or something, and D-Dan played half and had to go to a wedding, so he shot off, and then we played the second half, and then I got the ball from the right hand side, chopped it past like 3 players. Don't tell me how. I was just chopping players at will. And then it landed, and then I shifted it onto my left foot. I'm in like by the penalty box on my left foot. And I thought, you know what I'm like? I don't swing my left foot for no one. And I thought, I've got to swing it. I'm here now.
No.
Do you know what I mean? I've got to swing it. And I swung my left foot, and I buried it. So I took on like 3 players and then buried it with my left foot, which if I told anyone that knows me, they'd be like, bullshit. Not a chance. You took off. Just nice bottom bins. But I was happy with that. I was more than happy with that. I was just happy to see it go in, to be honest. But if I tell anyone that, they say what? I was happy to connect with the ball. If I tell anyone, they say, you took on 3 players, chipped it up, and headed it in. That sounds more realistic, mate, for me.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Byron, you've been absolute class, mate. Some real good stories in there.
You've talked about plenty there, and we've got through all sorts. And
I think what we might have to do is just have a season 2 with just Byron Mason. It'd be easier that way. There's too much to cover.
5 episodes.
Yeah. Byron part 1.
Because considering it's non-league, and most people don't really care about it, it's there's so much there for people to listen to. So thanks for joining us, By. It's been brilliant chatting to you. It's been,
thanks for having me.
A great show.
Obviously, episode 2 is going to be with Guy Butters, which we're hoping to be a real fucking laugh. Ex-pro and done the rounds in non-league, so make sure to tune into that.
And before we go, every episode we're going to be doing donations to a charity, the choice of our guests. And Byron, if you want to tell us the choice of your charity that you've gone with for today's
so the charity I've gone with is a New Life charity for disabled, terminally ill children, because I just think it's a good cause, and children are the future, and they deserve to have as best life as they can, So and they just want to say they focus on like children that's obviously got diseases that they can't do normal stuff in life that we can do and other children can do. Accidents. So if they've had an accident, they've had to amputation and stuff like that. Anything like that just gives them a disadvantage to live in life to the best they can, And obviously, children with cancer and with birth defects as well. So if everyone could donate to this charity, it would be helping them out loads, because a lot goes on behind the scenes for them, and just giving children, like I say, the life that they deserve, All
right then, I think that'll do from all of us. Until next time, we go again.
Out the podcast.
Out the podcast.
Out the podcast.
Out the fucking podcast.